Imagine if there was a way to learn a new motor skill such as playing the drums or golfing without having to perform the physical task. It would save a lot of time and truly allow for multitasking. You would be able to learn that skill while riding the bus to school. Mental practice is the act of imagining performing a motor activity without the overt movement. It is effective for learning a new skill and for preparing for competition. It has been used to help in motivation, self-confidence, and to reduce competitive anxiety. Mental practice also has practical applications such as rehabilitation, and it provides insights into motor and cognitive processes in motor skill learning. It is hypothesized that it is effective because it involves learning the cognitive elements of the task or what to do. We wanted to follow up with past studies and the findings that show it is more effective than no practice, but not as effective as physical practice alone. So the combination of physical and mental practice can be as effective or more effective than the physical practice. If mental practice is like physical practice with motor practice and without visual feedback, then the intermittent information feedback should produce better learning than trials with information or with feedback after every trial. We used a golf putting task. We had some participants have the target obscured by a baseball cap that blocked their distance vision, so they could see the putter and the ball, but not the target or where the ball ended up. We had 3 groups. In the first group, a research assistant told the participants the outcome of their putt on every trial. And in the second group, participants were only told on half of the trials, and the third group used mental practice on 50% of the trials as directed by the research assistant. Learning was tested by a retention test without feedback 1 day after the practice trials. As was expected, all 3 groups were the same at accuracy during the practice and had a reduced error in the retention test. The participants who received feedback on half of their trials scored the highest on accuracy and consistency. The next was the group who received information feedback on each trial, and finally the group who used mental practice scored the lowest. Therefore, mental practice trials did not have the same effect as physical practice without visual or augmented feedback, and it was interesting to find that withdrawing this information feedback was more effective for learning than motor practice and feedback on every trial. We hypothesize that this feedback reduction makes learners attend to the kinesthetic feedback, resulting in stronger error detection and correction. So, unfortunately, our study did not prove that just imagining a skill will help you learn it, but if your roommate asks to learn the drums, you may be able to convince them that they don't actually need a drum set, just the positive feedback to learn that skill.